This is my weekly market recap of how I came back to break even after being down -7%. And this week, oh my goodness, -1.2, -1.2, -1.2, another -1.2. Thursday win, well, Friday win, and Wednesday we had another shorting opportunity, which would have been on a win, but now on a little later topic. But yeah, let's get straight into it. You can see on our Thursday and Friday trade, made all these losses back and eventually made our previous losses back as well. And we came back and break even. We're actually up 0.3% RR here. Fantastic. Now let's get straight into it. This is how I ended up on a break even, not a break even week. This could have been I think probably say a one, I think a 2 RR week. I mean, probably well, 2 RR a week, it's not that much. But guess what? After facing all these losses, that's a lot, you know. We made 6 RR here. We made a lot, right? But get straight into here. Now let's do a hard time analysis paralysis before we get down to the lower time frame. And this whole week, we're bearish because last week of the month it's closed at a fair price. And our analysis process was saying bearish anyways. So on the weekly time frame, we had a weekly ERL to IRL, weekly to the downside, another weekly steer to the downside. We as well had a daily, sorry for that, daily, steer to the downside, a daily premium ERL to IRL and previous one to sell. But as well on a Monday, we didn't had much here. We had a loss. Because of SMT divergence. Eventually, after Monday, the market drawn look was clear because Monday we had SMT with the CRT high. We had SMT with this high as well. So since we had SMT on Monday with these highs, looking for a short, we had a daily CRT to sell on a Monday. Right on Tuesday, we had a CRT, so we had a daily CRT to the downside, another daily CRT to the downside, a daily PM, ERL to IRL, all that, right? So now let's go to lower time frame to the execution. I do not know why I'm saying keep on saying right. Because somebody, help me say anything else than right, please. I'm saying right so many times here now. I'm getting annoyed. I'm gonna fix that up. I'm gonna fix that up. Don't worry. Right? Oh, okay. I got okay. I'm just joking. So on a Monday, right over here, we had a loss. We had a 4-hour SMT with the 1 a.m. had SMT with the 5 a.m. So we're not looking for we're no longer looking for a new continuation. We're looking for a new Russell. Looking for a 15-minute time for entry. We took this threshold entry. Took that loss. And what was the lesson of the trade? Why we took the loss is that the SMT occurred during two different time. Time is more important than price. This SMT occurred in 2 different hours. So the lesson is, since we're day traders, the hour time is very important. SMT divergence must occur the same hour. It has occurred 2 different hours. This one occurred at 6 a.m. while the other one occurred at 5 a.m. And this one, you can see this model one failed as well. You can see we have evidence of this rule working out. This one occurred at 8 a.m. while the other one was still at 5 a.m. Went lower in profits. Guess what? Get right up, stopped that back up. Now on this one, the 8 a.m. and the 9:30 a.m. purge, the 9 a.m. purge had SMT with the other candle, with the others, in this case, what I'm trying to say is over here, the SMT happened at the right time, but it was never entry, so market just, never give the entry, and the market, closed. But you can see now the right time happened, but guess what? Now, if you would have not done that, you would have had to face 1 loss, 2 losses here. How do you avoid this loss? By having the SMT happen the same hour. And that's that. And the purge side SMT. So if this purge has SMT with the other pair, the purge must happen as well to have the same hour of this SMT. That's the lesson on Monday. On Tuesday, we took a loss. We had a shorting opportunity. There's so much good to talk about on the analysis paralysis. But Tuesday, we made a mistake here. We're looking for shorts. We're looking for a near continuation or downside because this should be the high of the day. SMT, they to the downside. All those bearish order flow, all of that, key level as well, which is the daily, for our order block. Now, for the low time frame for the execution. Since This was a new mistake I made since this is, you know, the situation looking for hourly CRT. So I went and looked for hourly CRT. We need to lower time frame. 5-minute execution. Onto the 5-minute time frame. I executed this trade. I mean the CRT high had a legit high here, but the high when it had a legit high here, there was something wrong with it here. Right? So the reason there's something wrong with this is the model one was not right. The market went down. You give people hype. Oh yeah, we're in profit. We're right back up. Stop. Yeah, you see how all of these align. They all make sense. Market went lower. Model one happened. Entered here. Stop loss here. Take profit all down here. You see when it's loss. Why this one going to loss? And what was the lesson of the trade? The lesson of the trade is if I'm gonna enter, in this case the body was big. The body was way bigger than the fucking wick. If the body is bigger than the wick, we are not going to enter the fucking wick. We're gonna enter the body. We're gonna enter the threshold. And I entered below the threshold, so I got even worse. So okay, this we're not on a loss. Even with that, we gotta have better execution here. The lesson of this is if I say if the threshold is here, because keep in mind the threshold got tapped. So I was like, okay, at first I was gonna enter the threshold. I'll wait for that threshold to get tapped. I entered on it, but the market went down. So I was like, okay, let me wait for a retracement. But the market never retraced. I was like, okay, it's gonna go down. And eventually I had a FOMO problem, and I missed it. So I entered it here, stop loss here, and we lost even more than we we're supposed to lose. And we entered a wrong entry here. The main the lesson of this trade is to first, if I say I'm gonna enter the threshold, I'm gonna enter the threshold. There's gonna be no secondary entry. There's gonna be nothing else but there. I'm gonna stick to what I say. It's either that entry gets tapped, or if it gets tapped and I miss it, either I'll wait for the entry to get retapped, or it's gonna be no execution. I'm not gonna execute. It's simple as that. As I said, if I say I'm gonna enter here, I'm gonna enter there. No other than that. And the next lesson is the higher time frame. Higher time frame, higher power. And the reason why this had so much soups here with the higher time frame, because the low 4-hour time frame, we had a 4-hour CRT. But a 4-hour CRT, that got super low. Since we had a 4-hour CRT, we are no longer looking for a hourly CRT. We're looking for a 4-hour. So the new lesson I learned was that for your new situation, if there's a 4-hour CRT, we're gonna ditch the hourly and focus on the 4-hour because hard to find power, and we'll look for 15-minute entries instead of the, the 5-minute, because instead of the 5-minute entry, right? Since that happened, and this new lesson I learned that for a new situation, if there's a 4-hour CRT, I'm gonna purchase the 4-hour CRT, not the hourly, because the 4-hour CRT is the hard to find power. And as well as the only time we use a hourly CRT is when there's not a 4-hour CRT in play in a new situation, or if it's a new reserve profile 2 and the 8 a.m. is our CRT. The entry that gets suspected, we're not looking for an hourly CRT entry, advanced entry, looking for a 4-hour entry only, right? 4-hour entry and looking for 15-minute execution. That was the last time that trade. Prioritizing higher time frame, higher power. And a 15-minute time frame was never an entry here. Not legit high gets purged. This one didn't leave legit high. It's repurged. Now there's a legit high, and the model one was wrong. Repurged that. Now the right model one eventually went down lower. Simple as that. This whole day should have been not a trading day. Lesson of the trade of that on Tuesday is, if I say I'm gonna enter here, I'm gonna enter there. Give me no entry, the entry there. If either that gets tapped, if I miss it, either I wait for it to get tapped, or there's gonna be no execution. Now, if I say I'm gonna enter there, I'm gonna enter there. And the next lesson is that in the new situation, if there's a 4-hour CRT, we're gonna prioritize the 4-hour CRT over the hourly CRT. The only time we use the hourly CRT if in the new situation, the 4-hour CRT is not present. In this case, the 4-hour CRT was present. So we're looking to use before the 4-hour time frame, looking for 15-minute entries out of the 5-minute. That's the lesson of that trade. And the only time we use the hourly CRT if there's a 4-hour, if there's a neo reverse profile 2 as well as if there's not a for CRT, that's when we use a out CRT. And for nuclear profile 2, the ATM candle must be respected for advantage, otherwise there's gonna be no entry there. And on this trade, the lesson is we took one short, one long. The long was a pattern trade, so the long had no meaning to it. What's the lesson of the long? The lesson of the long is that I pattern traded. There's no logic. I, if you're pattern trading, this is going to happen to you. I listen to somebody else other than me. I wasn't narcissistic. I have to be narcissistic. I have to let my point of view be higher than others. No disrespect to nobody, but this is my trading. My plan is proven to work. I've shown you guys proof. It's proven to work. Since it's proven to work, I have to be narcissistic. I have to let mine be above others. You gotta do the same thing with yours. You have to let your POV be higher than anybody else's. There comes to a point where you have to push it back down. But if it comes in trading, especially to push it up higher, because I got influenced, and I'm not gonna blame the guy who influenced me. I'm gonna blame myself because it's my problem. It was my mistake. It was at the end of the day, it was my action. It was me that took the action. It was my fault, not his. That was the lesson of this trade. And the next thing is we took a short. As I said, the whole week we're looking for shorts. We had a new continuation here as I think we're new continuation here as well. Low time frame. We first CRT high got purged here, so this is our 8 a.m. I think the 7 a.m. CRT high. 7 CRT high gets purged. Model 1 gets created here. Enter the Model 1. I enter the wrong fucking position here. Stop loss here. Take profit here. Over there down short as well, right? So, and keep in mind, a take profit would have not been here because we were already in a 4-hour range, so that would have not been our take profit. But the lesson is here. You can see we had the Model 1 happened. Our entry is again the wrong entry here. The body is bigger than the wick, so our entry should have been not even the threshold. Our entry should have been with this loss, the fucking wick. Look at the wick is overweighing the body here. So the entry should have been the wick. Only when a loss, it is what it is. Alright, our entry could have been here on this registration block. Why am I calling this as a registration block? Because it's two wicks here, right? It should have been a registration block. Entry there, stop loss here, big profit here. Which when a loss, right? Eventually took a long. We don't want to lose because we penetrated. I made the lesson out of that. And eventually we had another entry. And this day I was like, okay, there's 2 entries in this day. Interesting. But I just find out today that I should be only taking 1 trade a day. So I'm gonna move my rule from taking 2 trades a day to 1 trade a day. Because after this trade, I was like, okay, I should be taking 2 trades a day. I'm gonna go let myself do 2 trades a day. But I trade did not work out. We went to our drawn liquidity, but guess what? Our overall drawn was over here. Guess what? The market came all the way back up, stopped us out at break even. But you can see market eventually offered another entry, which we're not going to take that because, our first entry already happened. So the lesson of this trade is to take 1 trade a day, not pattern trade. Listen to yourself, be narcissistic. If I say my entry here, my entry there, and I must have the best entry out of all of them, right? That's the lesson of that day. Primary lesson is to be narcissistic. My POV is better than anybody's. I don't trade for applause. I trade for a position. You guys are here, the viewers, fucking realistically, you guys are here to watch me lead, not to lead me. Do not fucking lead me. I don't give a fuck who you are. My actions are my discipline, not your opinions. And other than that is that. And I cannot pattern trade. I will not pattern trade. I'll be narcissistic. I will let my point of view be higher than anybody else's. I will, because I'm fucking smart. I learn from my shit. Let my point of view be higher than anybody else's and live from there on forward. Nothing else. Right? And as well as do not pattern trade, I will be disciplined to my concept, not break my concept. As a lesson of that trade, there's a lot of lesson this week. It's a 40-minute long video already. And on Friday, I said another bearish, setup here, looking for negative profile 2, profile 1, I'm pretty sure here. Yeah, we're looking for negative profile 1, like emission 5 impulsion expansion, key level, SMT, bearish auto flow. That's what we had for this trade. And soup high got soup, legit high here. Is soup. Oh, that's the 5-minute time frame. I wonder, like, what the fuck? Oh, I had a loss in it. The 5-minute time frame had the 15 time frame had a legit high. A soup. Marble 1. You can see if you look at the 5-minute, it has so many losses because you gotta use the right time from alignment, which we talk about in our ATU free massive CRT bootcamp. And make sure you guys watch our ATU free massive CRT bootcamp. If you want to trade like me, watch my shit. Right? Watch my big watch all my free shit you're gonna watch it. Right? Pay attention to it. So entry here, stop us there, and take profit here. And the primary lesson of this trade is I don't trade in a resistance block because the wick is overweight in the body. In my POV, is some reason or feelings. So the interested with the resistance block. Next lesson is I take profit just shut up in the 4C low because as we're trading on Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday, this is where time comes over price. Time is more important price in this time. So it says Thursday and Friday, we take closer to a fair price in the weekly candle. We must go for a take profit on this specific 2 days. So on this day, I want to take profits here. Although the weekly CC low is right near it though, so it should have gotten tapped too. Did it get tapped? No. Why? Because there was the only time on Thursday and Friday you can go for a higher time frame drawn liquidity is if there's a daily objective. And the objective must make sense. And there was a daily objective here. There was a daily here. There was a daily, see the downside. But the downside is all down here. It's nowhere down here. It was all the way down here. If you get the drawing board here, it was all the way down here, our COT low. So there was no daily objective here. There was a weekly objective, but guess what? It's Thursday and Friday. The closest, the only time we can go for the higher time is the daily objective, not the higher time frame, right? So as I said on that trade, instead of me making, I should have only made 1 RR here, but I made 2 RR because I instantly partial, should have not partial, but our take should have just been over here. It's a good thing that we partial there, right? Entry here. Take profit should have been just to the 460 low because Thursday Friday is a lesson of that trade. Resistance block as well. That's the lesson of the Thursday trade and Friday trade. Another lesson here. We had a 4-hour, we had daily CRT to the downside, 4-hour daily IRL to ERL, all this higher time frame, analysis paralysis, bearish auto flow, range high gap around range low, 4-hour ERL to IRL. We retested the period daily range low. We sold above the 4-hour daily and the weekly opening price. Now go to the lower time frame. I got soup, looking for negative profile 2. Dating candle got disrespected, so no longer for looking for advanced entry. Looking for 15-minute entry here. Now let's check out model 1 entry there, stop loss there, like profit 1 here. In this case, now we learned from the previous trade. We went for us to take profit. We're not go down here because it's Friday and it's Thursday and Friday, so we need to go for market needs to close in fair price. Since you need to close in fair price, market will highlight to go we need to go for us to take profit, which would have been the 460 low, which we just went to that, and eventually made profit from there on forward, right? Which we made 4 RR here. Now the lesson of this trade is to enter on the resistance block because the wick is overlooking the overweight in the body here. The wick is overweight in the body here. Water resistance block here. That's it. The wick is overweight in the body, and we have evidence. I had a problem of a fear of it not getting tapped, of me missing it out, fear of having FOMO. That will never happen. I will never FOMO. If I said I'm gonna enter here, I'm gonna enter here. Because if it gets tapped and it goes away, now if somehow I miss it, I'm either gonna wait for that to happen and to get retapped, or there's gonna be no execution. It's gonna be no FOMO. Lesson is to enter where I say I'm gonna enter. The resistance block is the entry, and I have evidence of this resistance block working. Evidence number 1, number 2. Go back on the chart. Number 3. Number, all the way back down here. Number 4, number 5, number 6. That is a lot of evidence. That's time that they could go back and chart. There's way more evidence than that. That much. There's way more evidence. So it's proven So since it's proven, since I have evidence backing it up, since I have proof backing it up, they will get tapped more highly than not. Sometimes you might not get tapped. It is what it is. I'm sidelines. I'm patient. Patience is the position. Flat as it stands. I trade when the market proves it. Now when my emotion backs to it, that means my rule says when the wicks are overweight in the body, when the market proves it, that means when the market's following my rules. When the market has my resistance block entry, when the wicks are overweight in the body, that's following my rules. So I enter here. Other than that, I'm impatient. Sidelines. I'm missing anything. The move happened. Oh, cool. But the primary message of this trade is to enter in the resistance block because the wick is overweight in the body. And I have evidence backing that shit up. I have proof backing it up. And I'll look on this video. But yeah, that's the lesson of the week. We had a before take profit here. We followed our lesson for the previous trade. Now let's go over the whole week. First, the SMT must have the same hour. That doesn't have the same hour. Look, either I'm not gonna enter the trade, or I'm looking for the high high to get repurchased. And I have evidence backing that up. Why? There's SMT with this high with GU right here. SMT. When this SMT happened, it happened 2 different times. It happened at the same time. And you can see there was SMT that happened here, which happened 2 different times. It did not fucking work out. Oh, holy shit, right? And the SMT must have the same hour. And I must, for any situation of the 4 CRT, I would just the hour CRT for me to 4 CRT and look for 15-minute entry. The only time I'm looking for the only time I'm looking for hour CRT is in a near situation if the 4 CRT is not there, or if the 4 CRT is not present, or if it's a negative profile too. And the 8 candle must be respected for the hour CRT entry. Otherwise, can be no entry. There's gonna be no trades. And the next lesson is 1 trade a day. I will not pattern trade. I will not just stick. I will practice my POV more than anybody else's because match is proven. I don't trade for applause. I trade for position. They're here watching me lead, not to lead me. My edge is in my discipline, not your opinions. I do not give a fuck about your things. I do not care about your, where you think the market gonna go. Because I have edge proving it. I have proof packing my shit up. Does yours have it? Probably not. If you have public record, probably not. I do have public record. So I have my shit proving here. And the next lesson is since Thursday and Friday, I must go for take profit. I must always go for take profit if it's Thursday or Friday. And the only time I go for the higher time frame Thursday Friday is if there's a daily objective. And the objective must be, logically near or close to it for us to go there. It cannot be a weekly because this weekly objective, and it's Thursday Friday to go to fair price. The weekly time frame will not get tagged because that's just a high time frame. The next lesson is if the wick is overweighting the body, I'm gonna enter the threshold. And if I say I'm gonna enter here, I'm gonna enter here. There can be no other entries. There's gonna be no other entries. So if I say I'm entering the threshold or this resistance block, I'm gonna enter there. I'm not gonna have no formal problem. The market doesn't tap it. If it taps, it goes away, and I forgot to enter the trade, or if I missed the button and didn't enter the trade, I somehow missed it. Either I wait for the entry to get tapped again, or there's gonna be no entry. And the next lesson is I will not have a FOMO. I will not have a fear of missing out. I will not have a fear of if it not getting tapped. Because I have evidence proving that the resistance block does get tapped. Because I have proof backing it up. There's no denials here now. There's no denials. There's no denials here. I have proof. So if the wick is overweight in the body, I will enter the threshold. There's gonna be no FOMO problem. And the next lesson is the same thing. And that's the lesson of the week. And I will not take 2 trades a day anymore because you can see this trade that we had 2 trades a day here. I was like, okay, let me change my trade. Let me change my rules to 2 trades a day. But guess what? That was falsely proven because the week just never got met. And you can see market come back up, stop loss at break even, and we would have not made any shift from there. So the lesson is take 1 trade a day. Do not pattern trade. I'm gonna enter here. I'm gonna enter here. And yeah, this is my weekly market recap. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and join the Discord down below. And I'll see you guys later. This is very viable video. Weekly market recaps are very viable video, right? See you guys later. Peace out.